Hello, I'm James Helder. Welcome to a very special episode of Not For The News here on Pitch Football, episode 41, I believe, with my stepbrothers Curtis Woodhouse and Leon Knight. Gentlemen, as always, honoured to have your company and thoughts on the show. Hope this finds you both well and good. What's happening?
All good over in beautiful Yorkshire.
Love that. Love that. What's it saying in Merseyside?
All good here, mate. All good here.
Love that. Love that. I think it's only right that we start on Manchester United beating Newcastle in the Carabao Cup final at Wembley.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Big moment for the Reds. Ten Hag, first trophy and all that. What did you make of the Carabao Cup win over Newcastle? Going to go straight to Leon Knight on this one.
I expected them to beat Newcastle, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? I expected them to beat Newcastle. Man United have traditionally been in finals, regardless if the players are there or not, the club, the fans, everybody, you know, they've been there before. I expected them to beat Newcastle. I thought it would have took it was a huge task for Newcastle to beat Man United on that day there. No surprise. But what I'm impressed with is how the gaffers came in and he's quietly gone about his business. And he's picking up points and he's winning trophies and he's building this winning mentality. He's getting the best out of his players as well. And he's building this mentality where, you know, in a year, 18 months or whatever, they could be a force again.
Potentially a Muhammad Ali for women's boxing.
Shut up, you cunt!
With a bit of, you know, behind the scenes, you know, I know the stadium and, you know, we heard about a little takeover a couple of weeks ago or whatever. You know, they get that takeover and they've got him in charge and they keep going on the way they're going on. And they're going to be a little bit of a problem again. Mm-hmm. So, you know, like I said, lifting the cup, never expected anything less, to be honest. You know, Newcastle, they make all the noise. They've got all the fans. The fans was there for 5 days before the flipping final and causing a scene and whatever. It's all for nothing. We know Newcastle ain't beating Man United in the final. But like I said, what I'm most impressed with is how United are going about their job quietly. Everyone's talking about Arsenal and Man United and Man City race and blah, blah, blah. And United just keep picking up points, stirring off, going into tournaments and winning trophy and coming back and beating Barcelona, getting through Barcelona, and you know what I mean. So I'm slightly keeping an eye on them and slightly worried that they get back into groove.
Oh, Man United, be very worried. Man United are back. They are back, mate. You know what? You put in a top centre forward and a top midfielder into that team, they are back. You put Bellingham and Kane into that team, Man United are back. And they've got I know you talk about a takeover there, 90. They don't need a takeover. Look how much money they're spending.
I know.
They've spent billions. It's not as if like, oh, if we got a takeover, we can go and buy some more players. Look at who they've already bought.
Do you think
Man United are a problem?
Do you think if Nick Pope hadn't have been suspended and the other goalie cup tied and they didn't have to play Karius, do you think it would have made any difference? How much of a loss was Nick Pope?
Nah,
I don't think so.
Nah.
I was disappointed with Newcastle, to be honest. I don't really think they came to the party on the day. I felt like
the fans did. The fans did, but they didn't turn up.
Yeah, the fans did. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, they just huffed and puffed. Really, they never really got going. I don't think it was the occasion. I just think they were outgunned a little bit, and it kind of showed where Newcastle actually are. You know, they've had a great season, but again, they need a few players if they're going to compete at the top end. I thought Bruno Guimaraes was brilliant. He's a great player here in midfield. I thought he dictated that midfield. He gets on the ball, he plays. I really like him, but they need someone next to him. Who's the guy they had next to him? The local kid, Longstaff, is it?
Longstaff, yeah.
Longstaff.
Yeah, see, they can massively upgrade on that. You know, who's my man from Leicester, the midfielder?
Tielemans.
Yeah, so imagine like a Tielemans in there alongside Guimaraes.
That's a good shot.
Yeah, I think they're the players that Newcastle should be looking at. Newcastle is a project that probably still 2 or 3 years away from where they want to be, but it is good to see them back because they are going to be a solid top 6 team, I think, for the next couple of years, and then they'll be looking trying to push that top 4. But I was a bit disappointed with them on the day, I must admit.
Mm-hmm. Man United, since Ten Hag's come in, he's made some big calls, decisions. If you get wrong, you're out of a job. We saw him bring on Harry Maguire last 5 minutes of the match to lift the trophy. Club captain. He must be hugely disappointed personally with the way things are going under Ten Hag, though, Harry Maguire. What's your take on the Maguire situation, Curtis? I know you've got local knowledge and knowledge of the family.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's hard to disagree with Ten Hag's decisions because he's backed them up with results. And you look, since Manchester United have swapped Maguire for Martinez to go alongside Varane, Man United are defending 15 yards up the pitch. And leaving Maguire out has allowed them to do that. Obviously, Harry Maguire, excellent defender, but pace isn't really his forte. And I think Harry Maguire's had a real rough ride at Man United. And I think he's been kind of held up as the guy that symbolises their struggle. And he isn't. He's just one of the guys. But I think it's all been kind of pushed on Maguire, really. I think Harry Maguire, the best thing he can do is leave Man United and kind of rebuild again a little bit. So I do feel that, and he's a really good guy. He's a nice guy, and I feel like the Man United thing is really weighing heavy on him.
Do you think he's now the 2023 Phil Jones? They've scapegoated him for the form of the team, for the performance, because Phil Jones, in my opinion, is a great defender, but he got memed out the club. Harry Maguire now, if you're playing deep and you're wanting him to make blocks and tackles, he's going to be a great defender. The way Ten Hag wants United play, so Harry Maguire's high up, he's got to turn. He's never going to suit that system, is he? So
no.
Do you think
look at Maguire
that he moves on?
Look at Maguire for England. You know, when England sit deep and look to counter, Maguire looks excellent. Anything that comes in the box, he heads it clear. Is a good defender. Like you said, the problems he has is when he has space in behind him. So if you're gonna, you know, and Paul Merson actually got it spot on, didn't he? We've all seen the clip of Paul Merson when they first signed Harry Maguire, and Paul Merson said he's going to struggle at Man United because what happens when he's at Leicester is they all camp on the 18-yard box and look to counter for Jamie Vardy. As soon as you go to Manchester United, you go 50 yards up the pitch and you defend on the halfway line. And Merson was spot on. And I don't think Harry Maguire has had a terrible time at Manchester United, but for £80 million, I think, and then he got made captain, I think he probably felt, and the club maybe felt, that he was going to usher in the new era of Manchester United. It's just not worked out. That's life. In
other Man United news, we saw Mason Greenwood announce he's going to be a father of Harriet Robson, expecting their first child.
This is bullshit.
Huge turnaround in things, in fortunes for Mason Greenwood, where you look where he was 6 months ago to now. I'm going to go straight to Brother Knighty on this one, as he's the relationship expert on the show. What's your thoughts on it?
I don't know. It just seemed like a circus, didn't it? Just seemed like a circus, and it just highlights of what this era is really about. It's just foolishness. Do you know what I mean? Like, you make a rape claim against him, he basically loses his job. His career's in Wonderland. I don't know where the flip is going. You get back with him, you're pregnant. Then he gets cleared. He gets cleared of, you know, there wasn't enough evidence or whatever, or blah, blah, blah. I've been here 40 years. And I don't think it takes 40 years to know that if a girl claims that you've raped her and you've bust the case, you stay well away from that girl. 100% well away from that girl. People's going to say, oh, she should stay away from him and blah, blah, blah. I hear that. But he wasn't charged for it. He's not charged for anything. So therefore, you got to take it as now you're making a rape case against him. Whether you drop the case behind and you didn't start speaking up or whatever and this, that, and the other, you retracted your statements or whatever you did. Yeah, it now says there's not enough evidence for him to charge him of raping you. That's what it says. Because I've had a bit of flack on social media. That's what it says. Yeah. So when I tweet and I'm saying now he should stay well away from that girl. That's what I think.
I saw one of your tweets. I saw one of your tweets saying that he's now got 18 years of payments to make, regardless of how it works out.
Well, she played it well, isn't she? What is it? Is it so? They got a baby on the way.
Baby on the way. Wouldn't
surprise me if there's no baby on the way.
Really?
The way this is going, wouldn't surprise me if the managers and whoever's handling them, their handlers and all that said, we just got to put this out because, blah blah blah, and we need to make. It wouldn't surprise me if all of a sudden they lose the baby, and do you know what I mean? It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But I just think it's a circus, mate. That's probably the worst position that I've seen like a footballer in a while.
Yeah,
that position there.
I agree. The whole thing's a mess, and if you put it on EastEnders, it'd be like an unbelievable like storyline.
Yeah,
what's going on? Yeah. I don't know too much about the facts of it all, but from the outside looking in, like Knight said, it is an absolute mess. And the first thing Mason Greenwood should have done was get as far away from that girl as he possibly can. Not end up being the father to a child. The pictures I've seen, she looked like she had a bump. So I think the baby's quite well on its way. And it's crazy. You go from six months ago, you accused him of rape. 6 months later, you're having Instagram pictures of celebrating your baby together. It's just utter madness.
Young people in particular will have arguments with their spouses, partners, girlfriends, wives. Seen all kinds of madness when you're out, people arguing with their wives in clubs and whatever when they're young and girlfriends. Is Mason Greenwood any different? Is their situation any different? Or is it just been amplified, the fact because there is media attention, there is press? Are they arguing acceptable? Is what happened with Mason Greenwood more common than people would let us believe?
Well, listen. What comes with being a professional footballer is the spotlight. Yeah, and you've got before you get into football and all of that, and you start and you can see a momentum and you can see you're going to go places and whatever. You've got to get to grips with that fast. Otherwise, you end up like this. Yeah, you can't blame leave them there too, whatever. This that it don't work like that. You either have it where you ain't got anything, and you're just like a player that was a good player, and you ain't like a star for Man United or whatever, or you're a star for Man United and the spotlight's on you, and whatever you do is going to be highlighted. I don't want to hear complaints about, is it like you just now said, is it this, is it that? No, we don't want to hear that. He already knows the score with himself. He already knows whatever he does is going to, if that gets out, it's going to be highlighted. It's going to be all over social media. Yeah. The club gets hold of it. If the police gets, whatever he does, it's going to be highlighted. Yeah. So I don't want to hear about because he's young and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear that. Is his
career repairable? Will he ever be the same player that he was? Will he be held in the same regard as he once was? What's your take on it, Woodjack?
No, I think he's going to find it really, really difficult to even find another club. Not find another club. Find another club that his talent should warrant, because this guy is the real deal. Look how many goals he scored for Manchester United already at a young age. I felt like he was. I think if he'd have been playing now, the search for a centre forward for Manchester United would not be a search. He'd be playing down the middle for that team. Rashford on the left, Sancho on the right, Greenwood down the middle. That, in my head, is scary. I felt this kid was electric, left foot, right foot, quick, great movement. He had everything. And then it's all fallen apart, because he's never going to, mentally, he's never going to be the same. He was potentially the golden child at Man United, the one, adored by everyone. And now everywhere he goes, he's going to get abused, he's going to get booed. It's maybe the wrong thing to say, but I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for the kid. He's got caught in a situation that's an absolute mess as a young kid, and he's lost his career over it. I don't think there's going to be anyone, and he'll probably end up playing for the Besiktas or someone like that, But it won't be at Man United or a Manchester City or a Liverpool or an Arsenal. No chance.
If Ten Hag is dropping Rashford for being late to a meeting, he ain't putting up with the antics of Greenwood.
No.
What would you do, Knighty, as manager? What would you do?
Just for the simple, do you know what? Once he busts the case, obviously you've got to take everything into consideration. And it's a tricky one. It's touchy. Because like you said, any stadium he goes to, he's going to get booed and whatever. But you know what? You got to look at it. And once there's no case against him, I'd have brought him back in to start training and try and build him up.
But you've got the video out there, haven't you? You've got the video out there.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
So my point is, what about all the young girls, the young kids that then go and watch Manchester United? I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit.
No. I hear you.
In a tough spot.
You're in a tough situation, but there's a few videos and things out there of other people, and they're still playing. Yeah.
Can we just point out, if you're not convicted on the back of that video, you must.
This is what I'm trying to say.
You must have
some
strong case or some strong legal team to get off of that.
I'm just going to say, with that video out, and you're still not behind bars and you're walking freely, that just goes to show that there was something in whatever relationship you had. There was something in there that you like that kind of way. And, that's the way you lot operated. Whether that was an argument or whatever happened.
The reason why I asked what you do as a manager is, I thought about this, thinking about this yesterday, actually. What do you do as a manager? You're in such a tough spot. Because no matter which way you go, you're going to get flack. I think Sir Alex Ferguson will have him back.
This is what I'm trying to say.
And I think it'd have backed the player. It'd have got round the player and it'd have backed him. But Ferguson's got 20 years
experience.
Not just experience, but credit in the bank as well. He's got 20 years and a million trophies behind him. I think Ten Hag now, the fans will back anything he does. And I think it'd be a really strong move for him to bring Greenwood back into the fold. Now, I think with the social media around now and the nonsense around it, it makes that decision really difficult. But I ultimately think that it is the correct decision to bring Mason Greenwood back in. Listen, what he's done is wrong. Nobody agrees with the video. We're not saying that. But young men all deserve second chances. And I think Mason Greenwood should be brought back into the fold and brought back into Manchester United and given his life back. That's my opinion. And I think Sir Alex Ferguson would have done that.
And what you got to take into consideration is the player that he is. You're not dealing with like a novice or whatever. He's a killer on that pitch. He's an actual demon on that pitch. He left foot, right foot, anything, he's touching the net. Yeah. And like I say, Curtis, like I say, James, this brother's not been convicted of nothing. It's like the Partey situation. Don't give me no Partey talk if he's not in jail. When he's in jail, I'll say, you know what? He's a dickhead. No problem. I hear you. But this brother, there's no conviction. There's nothing there. He's walking free. He's a free man. Yeah? And on top of that, like you say, Ferguson, he would have took that player. He would have made sure no press around that club would have been putting out anything bad about him.
He's right.
And he would have absolutely got that player back into mode. Nah, with Ten Hag, I don't know. But me personally, if you're asking me, Curtis, I'm taking him back because he hasn't done anything.
I agree.
According to the law, only them two know.
Yeah, the video that we've all seen.
And on top of that, she is back with him. It's not like she's running and she's still on socials saying whatever she's saying and blah, 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 and this, that, and going on, whatever. She's actually now pregnant for him, supposedly.
Yeah. The video that we've all seen, we haven't really got any context behind the video. The video is a shocker. When you watch it, the father of a daughter myself, the video is a shocker.
Yeah.
If I see that video, I'm going around to Mason Greenwood's house with a ballet on,
Yeah.
So the video's a shocker, but there's no context behind it either. We don't know what their relationship is like, and this sounds bad, but it might be one of those toxic relationships where this goes off.
This is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and some people do have relationships like that. But Knight's hit the nail on the head, and I think a big part of this is she's still with him. She's still with him. So whatever happened, she's forgiven. So us as a people, can we not give the young man a second chance? I certainly believe that he deserves one.
Football fans are very fickle. Opposition fans are very fickle. I think Mason Greenwood will be hearing about this until his dying days. I genuinely do. I don't think it's going to go away.
100%.
I don't think
100%.
Now there is something I want to talk about, and that's Graham Potter allegedly receiving death threats from Chelsea fans. It's been a story that's been in the news the last couple of days, but actually coincidentally before the defeat to Tottenham. So God knows what they're saying about him now. What's your take on Graham Potter receiving death threats from the Chelsea fans, or a section of the Chelsea fans, not all Chelsea fans by any accounts? Knighty, I know you've got a history with the club. What's your take?
I just think, like, it's like anything, any job or whatever. It's not right. But you just got to crack on. You need to get results, mate. You can't be out there crying about, you're getting death threats and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. You got to crack on with it, mate. You have to crack on with it. I've never known a manager to be killed for results. So you take that with a flipping pinch of salt.
What about the Colombian guy?
Yeah, but that's
thinking about Escobar in my head.
That's different. That's different, bro. That's Colombia we're dealing with. You know what I mean? That's Colombia. It's a totally different mindset. It's a totally different, what Chelsea fan is really going to kill Potter?
You know what though, Natty? What like a sad world we're living in at the moment, where fans are sending in death threats.
Yeah,
it's just madness, isn't it?
No, but this is what I'm saying, Curtis. Like, come on, man. Like, are you that the most that's gonna happen is somebody's gonna scream at you and scream abuse at you on when you get in the streets or wherever they see you, or you're coming off the team bus or whatever. Ain't nobody going to flipping kill you.
You're still in Knightsbridge, son.
It ain't going to happen.
Well, I think about like Potter, Graham Potter's wife, Graham Potter's kids. We know that, but they maybe don't. It can be scary, and I do understand. It'll be magnified when the team's not doing well and he's maybe not having a good time. We know nothing really is going to happen, but I think to have that around you as a family must be difficult. And it's irrelevant how much he's earning. He's still a human being.
Yeah.
And to get them death threats is, I think it's bang out of order.
It's
but
probably some little snotty-nosed little kid, 16, 17, who's got a Stone Island jacket on. And week in, week out, he goes to away games and home games, and he's pissed off, and he's getting banter in a group chat, and everyone's on him, because he supports Chelsea or whatever, and they're having a little bit of a rough time at the moment. They're 10th or whatever. And it's probably someone like that, right? Who's got a pot noodle down the side of his bed or whatever, and he's throwing out death threats over social media. It's always the case, bro. It's like when you get these little racist remarks and people throwing out racist chants over social media. When you check it and they pop up and they get arrested or they get brought in for questioning or whatever, it's some nerd, with an absolute nothing about them. He ain't really going to do it. He's just upset.
Yeah.
Now, if we're dealing with Colombia, if we're dealing with flipping countries like that, then you got to start taking it in serious. If we're dealing with Brazil, Yeah?
Yeah.
Where it's just off the cuff.
Yeah.
You're already
Then
gone.
we've got to start looking at. Do you know what I mean?
Knighty's got
Yeah.
a good point. Knighty's got a good point. But would Graham Potter, in any other era of Chelsea gone over the last, well, in effect, the Roman Abramovich era, would he already be out of a job? Has he alienated Chelsea fans by not winning? Has he made his task a lot harder going forward by the results that they've had? Woodhouse, what's your take?
Roman
would have got rid of him, wouldn't he?
100%.
Yeah,
Roman. He would have been gone about 3-4 weeks ago, bro.
Listen, he wouldn't have even got the job. Never mind, would he be gone?
There you go.
He wouldn't have been there in the first place.
Yeah.
But I want to see. I think Chelsea, if they sack him now, what's the point? They're not going to get into Europe. They are where they are now. What is the point? If you've gone this far, you might as well see it through. You've got to give him a pre-season, in my opinion. You've got to let him get players out. I mean, they've got the players in. But someone said something the other day. So when he takes training in the morning, he's got 33 players that he's taken the session with. That's hard. That's difficult. So out of that 33, you've probably got 15 to 20 that are not happy. So the majority of that squad don't want to be there. So he's in a tough spot, and it's not all his fault. You know, any manager that comes in is going to have the same issue. I think you need to give Graham Potter a pre-season, not to get players in, but to get players out. That's my opinion. Whether they will... Pardon?
Devil's advocate, he's spent 600 million. If you need to get players out, you don't bring players in. You've got to get rid of this bad element in the squad before you then go out and pay out 600 million in 2 windows. I know I'm not a footballing genius, but something tells me it's a rod for his own back a little bit.
No, listen, he hasn't brought in them players.
He hasn't.
We all know that. He hasn't brought them in. They are not his decisions. He will just get told, listen, he's coming. So I think that's heaps more problems on him, and he'll think, God, I don't need players in now. I need them out. Get me him out.
Like for instance, Aubameyang. Like for instance, the Enzo kid. They're shocking. They bought them for 100 million quid.
What's that Enzo like? I've not seen him play. What's he like?
He's shocking, mate.
Really?
He was an overhyped. Oh, I mean, they had a stat on him the other day. Since he's been bought, he's been the most player that people have gone past in the Premier League.
Oh, really?
And he's in the centre of midfield.
Wow.
Yeah. So Curtis, you played in the centre there. You're gonna be scrambling. You're getting flown past. You're scrambling.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're scrambling.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Right. Whether he's got to get up to pace with the game and whatever, I don't know. But
do you think they'll keep Potter? That's the question. Whether he should stay or not.
He's on 12 million a year, lad. They don't think they want to pay him up. He's got a 5.
Right, you're paying 100. You're paying. What do you mean 12 million? You paid 100 million for a kid the other day.
Yeah, but he'll have a severance clause in that contract. So if they have to sack him, they have to pay him X amount. They won't have to pay him the
pay him up the whole flipping 5 years of 12 million a year.
All right,
they're not stupid.
Devil's advocate, right? Get rid of Potter. Who comes in? Who is the next manager of Chelsea Football Club?
Whoever it is, though, inherits the same problems. So for me, that's why you've got to stay with him. The window's closed. He's got a squad of 40 players. 25 of them don't want to be there.
14 matches left. Say he picks up 5 wins. Chelsea finish the season 9th. Start next season, first 3 games, he draws 2, loses 1. He's out, isn't he?
Hold up.
He's out.
Hold up.
Go on.
You're saying 14 games left. Chelsea finished 9th. Chelsea are 9 points off the relegation scrapyard.
I see this.
Imagine.
Yeah. They're 9 points. I think 9 or 10 points off the relegation. That's a few games, bro.
Yeah.
You pick up 2 draws and a loss in 3 games and let them bottom lot beneath you start picking up points, which you know they can. Forest picked up a point against flipping City the other day, and if they turn somebody over the next week and you're losing and drawing, whatever, you're being sucked right in to that scrapyard.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. And so you're saying the thing about, oh, they're just gonna go there and get a few points here and there and they'll finish ninth. No, it don't work like that. It ain't. It ain't. I don't know who the next 6-7 fixtures are.
Imagine Big Sam rolling into Chelsea.
This is just not acceptable. I, as a fan, won't accept it.
No. Be the best day. One of the best days of our life for Bandy. I want to come away from Chelsea. I want to look at the relegation battle as it stands because some teams picked up some big points. Curtis Woodhouse's Leeds United managed to get a win, 1-0. Massive result over Southampton. That's a 6-pointer if ever I saw one. We had the pleasure of having the Leeds United fans on Pitch Football to speak about it before the game, and they weren't too optimistic. They're not loving the process at Leeds. So I'm guessing that result will go a long way to helping them stay in the Premier League. What's your take on it, Woodhouse?
Yeah, massive win. It's getting really tight down there, isn't it? Really tight. I really hope Leeds stay up, Like we spoke a couple of weeks ago about proper football clubs. We're talking about Everton, and Leeds are in that bracket. The Premier League needs Leeds. And I think this is the best squad of players Leeds have had for a long, long time.
Big point. Big point.
Yeah, I think they've invested in the squad. The squad's good. They need a centre-forward badly. They've got no one who can put the ball in the back of the net. Like I said, Bamford's absolutely gone. Legs have gone. He's nowhere near it. I know he didn't have a pre-season. He's been way off match sharpness, but he's gone. Leeds are desperate for centre-forward. And I think if you put a centre-forward in that team, Leeds are a comfortable top 12 team.
Can you imagine?
You just can't score.
Can you imagine Bielsa with this squad? How well he did with the squad that he had, and they backed him by signing 2 players, Dan James and forget what the other lad was. But can you imagine what he would do with this squad, with this calibre of player?
Yeah, even like with Jesse Marsh, I like Jesse Marsh, but I think the different. If you put, let me try and think of a player now off the top of my head. So you put, say, Danny Ings. You put Danny Ings in that Leeds team. Leeds finish 12th, 13th.
I'm glad you.
I don't think it's all. I don't think it's about the manager. I think Leeds have got no centre forward basically.
I'm glad you mentioned Danny Ings. Scored a brace for West Ham in the 4-0 win over Nottingham Forest. We was at the game for Pitch Football. So let's hear what some of the West Ham fans had to say about the win over Nottingham Forest exclusively from Pitch. West Ham 4, Nottingham Forest 0. Big result for West Ham in terms of the staying in the Premier League. What's your instant reaction to the game?
Massive result. Massive result. Much more attacking lineup. I think Moyes got it right today. I thought Ben Johnson was superb at the back. Ings scoring a couple of goals, but a big performance all round.
Unbelievable. 0-0 at 70 minutes and then 4 goals in 10 minutes. Brilliant. Couldn't believe it.
What was the difference in that second half? Because the first half it weren't the most exciting of games. What do you think's the difference in that second half?
I just think getting that first goal, I thought whoever scored that first goal was going to win. And we got it, and you could just see the players the confidence come back. We got a second quick soon after, and then after that we started playing some decent stuff.
What's the implication to West Ham in the relegation battle with this win, sir?
I think it can push us up the league now and make a real difference for the rest of the season.
Is Danny Ings the player that West Ham have missed this season? That clinicalness?
He makes strikers runs, doesn't he? He's got that natural striking instinct where Antonio's a bit more robust, and I think he will make a big difference.
Before we come on to the cup game, can I get your thoughts on David Moyes? Where do you stand on him currently, sir?
I'd stick with him. Yeah, he's done us all right the last 2 years, so yeah, I'd stick with him.
So when the goals went in, the passion from the players towards David Moyes, it must still mean he's got the dressing room.
I would say so, especially after today. Yeah.
He's just quite negative. Last 2 seasons he's been decent, don't get me wrong, and he's moved the club on, but you're going to pay £50 million for a Brazilian number 10, 40 million for an Italian striker, then start playing them in the positions and attack. We saw it today, and what we can do in the second half.
Confident that David Moyes will be manager next season, or do you think it's a case of steadying the ship with a board?
I think we'll get to the end of the season and then we'll see where we are, but I can't see him going. No.
That's what I mean. You can tell by the West Ham fans how big of a win that is for West Ham. Lifts them out the bottom three. Huge win. And just magnified again by what Curtis said. How important a player like Danny Ings is at this stage of the season. Someone that can find the net. Knighty, what's your take on it?
I just want Leeds to stay up, to be honest. I love going there as a player and playing there. Great ground. Do you know what I mean? I just like Leeds. Like they're like Curtis just said that we was talking about a couple of weeks ago. Big British football club. And that's what we need. The Forests, the Leeds. Do you know what I mean? The Evertons.
The atmosphere at Ellen Road's off the chain, isn't it?
Listen, mate, we was at Brighton and we played Leeds there. And I scored the first one. And I ran off and shushed the crowd. And they was just probably the worst thing I could have done, because after that, I mean, they was a bit quiet. And after that, mate, they was just annoyed and just loud. And then we went like 3-1 up. We was cruising. I was thinking, this is fucking a breeze, bro. And then they just fucking came back. It was 3-0 in the end. But the atmosphere, like you're saying, Curtis, is unreal. When that place gets jumping, I could imagine what that place was like when Harry Q and Rio and all of them was there, mate. I could imagine that place must have been absolutely rocking.
They got to the Champions League semi, didn't they, at one point?
Yeah,
they did.
Madness.
I often think,
and you know what Leeds have got is they're one city football club that have been through the mire. So you know, you look at some football clubs that have never really had a bad spell in the whole history in anyone's lifetime. You look at Leeds, say, last 20 years, they've been in the Champions League semi-final and also struggling in League One. This is all in one era. So the fans, when the team's doing well, are like, this is unbelievable. I remember not long ago we were struggling against Gillingham in League One or whatever. So the fans have been through it, and I think that's why they're so passionate. So what Leeds are big cities, huge city is Leeds, you know, and there's only one football club there, and a lot of them live and die, and everything about their life is around that football club.
Yeah, it's a mental place, mate.
Yeah,
it's a mental place, like, and a great ground as well.
Yeah, it's old. The ground's a bit like Everton's now, like an old proper ground. You know, it's always cold there. It's just not nice to go to when you're in the opposition's team. It's just
big news this week on the circuit. Our colleague and brother Curtis Woodhouse has left Marsk United. He's got a worse record than Mike Bassett at the minute.
Just Elliot, will you?
Find out what's been going on, all the ins and outs at Marsk United. Curtis, you know, we've been very supportive of your role. We expected you to try and sign Knighty on a free Bosman to get him some minutes. He's a killer, but that didn't work out. Tell us what's happened at Marsk United.
Well, I can't go into it too much, James. You just sprung it on me like you have just now. So I respect the hustle. I can't go into it too much. But what I will say, and like the saying always goes, and it's something that I maybe should have taken it into heart, you can't polish a turd. No. And I'll just leave it at that.
No.
We need answers.
We need answers.
I tried to roll it in glitter.
No, we need more answers. We need to know what's going on here. We're too invested in this, like, emotionally, Woodhouse. Do you know what I mean? We need
Off camera, I'll drop some truth bombs.
All right. Well, look, for our viewership, we are going to try and entice Woodhouse to speak a little bit more on this. I know he's a bit raw at the minute for the W.
We won our last game. We went away. We were third from bottom. We played fourth from bottom. Huge 6-pointer. Must-win game, really. We went away and we won 2-1. So it's a fantastic result. whenever you get 2 missed calls off the chairman at about 7:30 Wednesday morning, it's never a good look. So
I don't know what happened with Curtis, but I'll tell you something that, you know, I was in charge at Barnton down this end, northwest counties and stuff, and the chairman are pricks. End of story. I'll give you a story, bro.
Go on.
And it's just unbelievable. He wanted to shift over to another club. Nah. He got me in.
Story's coming. I know what story's coming.
He got me in, yeah, to kind of attract players and, you know, fans and whatever and this, that, and the other. Now, the club's not even a club that can even do that. There's nobody even lives around them areas there. So that didn't work out, but we was doing okay. And I had Andy Burgess. I don't know if you remember Andy Burgess, Curtis.
I played with him at Rushden.
I was with you at Rushden. We played with him at Rushden. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So,
Good player.
Yeah. But now I've got no respect for him because he was under this lie as well. So, you know, when you go into an office, Curtis, I mean, I've only been in charge of one football club, but you've been in charge of a few. You know, when you go into office and there's just a vibe and you're just thinking, it's a bit off here, but I'm not going to say anything. So just fuck it, innit? We'll just get on, go out, train, whatever. Did all that, went home. Oh, when you see you in the office, blah, 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 I need a little meeting and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other.
You know what I feel about things like this, Knight? Just sorry to interrupt you, but do you know when your gut tells you something's not right? It's normally so right, isn't it?
Oh, mate, it's unbelievable.
I had the same feeling with the mask thing a couple of days before I left. I knew something wasn't right. I can't say too much on camera, but I will talk to you all about it. But yeah, when you get that feeling, listen to it.
I'm telling you, mate, because I had one. My belly was just turning, and not because of any results or whatever, anything like that. Everything was fine. The players was all happy, was all training well, putting it in, blah blah blah. We had a little way to go. Don't get me wrong. But step by step, we was getting there. So anyway, I've gone in. Andy Burgess is sitting down, and he's a nervous cat anyway. He ain't really about anything. He's a nervous cat anyway. So he was giving it away from my bust the door. He's just looking down. He usually, like, the first couple of weeks I was there and everything was buzzing. He was like, all right, now, yeah, come on, let's get this thing done. And he's looking down and he's just writing on his paper. And I've gone in and I'm thinking to myself, right, I've got to get into, like, because I've got two sides to me. I've got the Leon side where I'm here now. Then I've got the 90 side. And the 90 side, I knew I had to get into the 90 side. So I've gone, what's the fuck's going on in here then? As I've gone in there. Oh, nothing, blah, blah, blah. And I wanted to get that in just to make them know. Don't try and take the piss. If you try and take the piss in there, things are going to go completely left. So anyway, he comes in and he's like, I'm thinking to myself, right, shit, bruv, like, what's going on? So he comes up, sits down. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, leave the post, and the chairman that's gonna take over. Sorry, the chairman that's gonna take over is gonna bring his own in, and I'm sorry, lads, but I'm gonna have to just, you're gonna have to go separate ways, and I can't really, do it anymore. I've got a problem, been diagnosed with. He didn't even tell me what he was, but I was so like, oh, I hope you're all right, bro, for this, that, and the other. He came in with he could have got awarded an Oscar. It was that mad. So anyway, I've gone home, I've told my missus, and when your missus ain't attached to anything, and you tell her, she went, huh?
Yeah. She's seen it.
So he got diagnosed.
He got
diagnosed, and he came in straight away to tell you that he's leaving straight away. He did it like kind of, and he sees since my missus said that, my belly just went. like that. I said, oh my God, I've let the actual whole thing of what he did smoke screen me into this stupidness. Now, he just wanted me out and wanted to bring his mate in. Where he wanted to move on to another club, which he did. He moved on to another club. He actually moved on about 2 days later. Chairman of Speak or whatever it was, football club or whatever I can't remember what the name of the club was. Yeah, new thingy. He's there on the interview, you know, and I just wanna. I think to myself, oh my God, Knight, you got played.
You know what, Knight? You're so right. My missus said something very similar to me when obviously I told her what had happened at Mass and what was going down, and she's coming out from a completely like fresh pair of eyes, neutral. She's not emotionally invested in anything that's going on, and she said to me, "They have absolutely pulled your pants down."
As you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
and I was like, I'm defensive. What you want about?
Yeah.
And then when I'm like, I have a few minutes myself and I get to process it, I'm like, she's right.
But this ain't even the worst of it.
Can I just say quickly on record, so that the chairman at Mass is a good guy, so I got on with him well. We had
Did he pretend that he was dying to get you out?
No.
You're doing all right.
The chairman had.
Right.
Yeah, no. The chair. I feel the chairman was put in a difficult position regarding myself, but yeah, the chairman was cool. I like him. He's a nice guy.
Okay.
So anyway, it's about. I've come home from that meeting. I've come to, like I said, I come to my missus and whatever, and she's just gone. Really? So it's got to a point where me and her are now in like a heated, like, why are you gonna tell me that? And he's not really. She's there over there going, you tell me. I said, fuck this. Called him. She said, no, call him from thingy. So I put the phone down. Called him from withheld. Hello? I've gone, are you having enough? Who's that? I said, it's Leon. These are you been just faking that you're going to die to. Lad. This, that, and the other. I said, you're a fucking prick. Do you know that?
What did they do, Snaggy? How can he get away with that? What did he say?
It's a miracle, isn't it?
Curtis, lad. I said, you're a prick. I said, you didn't even have enough balls to just come in the office and go, I'm moving clubs. I'm going to bring me mate in. But what am I going to do, really, if you say that? What am I going to do?
Did he do the Eddie Murphy one and coming to America? I can feel my legs.
Listen, mate, honestly, I said, you're an absolute dickhead, mate. Honestly, you just like, you go on like you're whatever and this, that, and the other. I said, you're a prick. You're an absolute knobend. Honestly,
you don't need to do that, does it? You don't need to do that. This is
what I'm trying to say. You're going on like I'm going to go, no, I'm staying. Huh? Bro, if you're going, like, I'm just, all right, cool, no problem. It's bliss. And that's what kind of made me kind of like say, you know what? I'm done with that side.
Listen.
Because if that, I can't deal with that, mate. Honestly.
Yeah,
no matter how bad things get or may have got, Woodhouse, just take solace in the fact that no one told you they were dying to get you out. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, Ian Ross, former chairman of Barnton. He can be upset if he hears this or whatever. He can suck his dad. I don't care, right? Ian Ross, yeah.
And what happened with Burge then? Where did Burge go? Burge went with him. Oh, so Burge knew as well.
He took his notebook. And went on his way.
Oh no!
But I think the next couple of months he went somewhere else after that. But he actually went with him.
Yeah.
Right. So he was in on it.
He knew.
You know what? With me at the Master. So when I'm saying like you got instinct. So we'd obviously got a massive win on Tuesday night. Huge win. I brought a couple of players in. So we're ready for the second half of the season to stay in the league. More than confident we can get the job done. Obviously, after the game on Tuesday, I'm buzzing. So everyone goes for a beer and that after in the bar. We're at Nantwich, miles away, about 3 hours it took. Like some of the lads didn't get there till like 20 past, 7:30. We're kicking off at 7:45. So it was a proper like tough up against it, and we got a great 2-1 away win. And I've gone in the bar afterwards and like happy, obviously buzzing, great win, let's go. And I could just smell a vibe in there. There's a few of the board members in there, couldn't quite look me in the eye, you know. And I got in my car after, and I rang my missus on my way back, and I said,
I'm in danger.
Something's not right here. And she said, what do you mean? And I just told her. And she said, oh, everyone's probably tired. They've been traveling like miles. And then, but I was processing it on the way home, and I knew something wasn't right. And I found out later that on Monday, the decision was made on Monday. So then I've taken the game on Tuesday. So everybody that was there already knew what was going to happen on Wednesday.
This is what I'm trying
and my gut told me that though. So that gut feeling you get, you got to listen to it.
And the most thing I was disappointed about that is like a former pro, a colleague of mine was actually in on it as well.
Really?
Yeah, like Burgess, like and I don't know whether they forced his hand or whatever and whatever, but there was one point where he bought this striker in, Kevin something his name was. You know, one of them players that scored a load of goals in not like low end football, but don't really get nowhere or whatever. He was one of them, and he was like a bit. And when the chairman said he wanted to bring him in, this was a few months before, when the chairman said he wanted to bring him in, and he came to a training session, the chairman brought me over to him, and that set off the vibe completely. I was thinking, fuck's sake, for me to be going over to him, he should be coming over to me, and the chairman should be bringing him over to me. So that alone, and then it was all because of him, and the chairman wanted to put him as gaffer with Burgess as his assistant instead of me. That's where it started.
Yeah.
But I had that feeling from there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I was thinking when you two were talking? I'm sorry, Nighty, I was listening to you, but I was also thinking ahead, you know, our vision stuff. I was thinking how good it would be, Knighty and Woodshack, Road to Glory, the RTG of Knighty and Woodshack. Yeah?
If we live close enough.
That would be a YouTube series on its own. Don't matter.
I tell you one thing, we wouldn't lose many.
You know what?
I've heard all this before from Curtis Woodhouse. I'm not having all this.
Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great if we got a team and we managed it, we brought it up and documented the journey on YouTube?
Oh, mate.
You
just stole exactly what I just said.
I'm saying, would it
be worded what I just said? Do you know what I mean?
It'd be great.
Get pitched to fund it. We'll be all right.
Listen, I can only pitch stuff. I'm only one man. I'm not a miracle worker. The way Curtis Mike Bassett Woodshack is going on, it's going to be an hard push. I'm not going to lie. Got him on his record. You've got you people are doing eulogies to get away from you, lad. I don't know. It's going to be an hard sell. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to talk to Poxon. I'm going to talk to the bosses, and we'll see what we can work out, I guess. On that note, gentlemen, I've thoroughly enjoyed both your company. I appreciate you humouring us and sharing your stories. Woodshack, you know, I'm only playing. I rate you as a manager. You're up there, lad. You're up there.
Too late for your nonsense now.
No, I rate you, lad. I'm only playing. Do you know what I mean? On that note, if you are watching on our YouTube channel, please download our free app, Pitch Footy, for all the latest in not gossip, news, competitions, fan debate, results, you name it, we've got it. Also, check out the Spotify version for the adult version of the show to watch on the road. Thank you to Curtis Woodshack Woodhouse. Thank you to Leon Knight. And we will see you on the next episode. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, lads.